What's up everyone, AJ on AJ's Heli Journey with another video. This one really wasn't planned. I am just going to be doing a quick parallel charge before I head out to the flying field. And I thought, well, it might be handy to do just a short video on the parallel charging some Lipos. This isn't going to be a very comprehensive video, although I will talk about some details. Hopefully it's helpful in some way to people. Maybe in the future, if I have more time, I can plan one out where I talk about one that's more comprehensive, where I can talk about the whys behind certain settings and so on and so forth. I apologize for the noise in the background, but my current charging setup uses this power source here, which has proven to be a pretty capable power source, but it is extremely loud in terms of the fan, so I'm hoping that it isn't making it difficult to hear me. Anyways, my charger here is a Thunder Power. This is a single channel charger. I've had it for, over 10 years, and I'm going to be charging these 3S 700 milliamp packs for my OMP M2 V2. You can see here, I numbered these Lipos, but 6 of these are all Gens Ace. Again, 3S and 700 milliamp batteries. The Gens Ace are 60C discharge. That's the rating, discharge rating, and I have one pulse, but it's pretty much exactly the same, except the discharge here is 50C. Which brings us to the first point of parallel charging. It's important that they are all the same number of cells. So these are all 3S Lipos. You cannot be parallel charging 3S and say 4S or 3S and 6S. You can parallel charge Lipos that have the same number of cells but different number of milliamps. For example, I do have one other. This is the Lipo that comes stock with the OMP, and this one is a 650 milliamp, but it still is a 3S Lipo. But I'm not going to be charging that one right now because for these purposes I thought I'd keep it all consistent. Again, 5 of these are all Gens Ace. The only difference being that this one is a pulse, but they're all 700 milliamps, 3S. Now the charger settings, let me see if I can zoom in here a little bit. Yeah, so charger settings, I have several different, I think there's 12 memory settings on this, so this is number 10 that I use because I charge different types of Lipos. For example, I do have these these HRB 4000 milliamp Lipos for my 500 and 700 Helis, but select Lipo for the charge, number of cells 3S. Now, because we're charging 6 of these, 6 of these, and it's 700 milliamps, we have to actually, sorry, I did this all wrong. The 700 milliamps, it should be times 6, which would make it, oh, maybe I just selected it wrong. There it is. I'm sorry. There, okay. I'm not going to be editing this. Like I said, this was a bit of an impromptu video, but so 3S, 4200 milliamps for the 7 Lipos, and I'm going to be charging at a 3C charge rate. So 1C would be 4.2 amps, 3C is 12.6 amps for these, and those are the settings that I'm using for this. Again, I'm not going to go into all the details of what all those mean in this video, but those are the settings I use for parallel charging these. So let's zoom out again, talk about a couple things more here before we start charging. First things first, you'll want to make sure that these battery packs are very close, if not, very close in in voltage. So let me just show you. So, and it doesn't hurt to check these if you're not sure, or just a safety precaution, because charging lipos can, can be a hazard. So you want to be certain. So here we have cell meter, so you can see each cell here is has been discharged to 3.83, 3.84, and if you go through each of your lipos, they should be within 0.1, so in either direction. So they really shouldn't be further. If these are 3.8, then they should not be more than 0.1 of a difference in either direction. So for example, if these are 3.8, you don't want to be charging ones that are higher than 3.9, or in the other direction, lower than 3.7, which you really wouldn't be wanting to discharge your lipos at anyways. Again, discussion for another video as to why, but the important thing here is that they are all within, and I'm confident that these all are, because I flew these all pretty much the same style, and for the exact same number, exact same minutes. I don't have telemetry on this particular on my OMP M2 V2, so I rely on the timer for my flight times, and I know I flew all of these the exact same. So anyways, as long as they're within that, you are good. And then what you want to do is you got to make sure that you connect the in this case the XT30. Why is this not focusing? The XT30 connectors first, because if you use the balance ports, you could fry those if they are really far off in voltage. Again, this is a bit of a double redundancy, because we already know that they are not off in voltage. They're all pretty much the same, but in case because what happens is if they're significantly different in voltage, you could have a power surge and they would fry the tiny wires on the balance cables. So anyways, let's plug these all in. Again, XT30 plugs all first, one at a time, and then we'll go ahead and plug in the balance ports. The challenge with these small lipos is they have very short wires, so it can look a little messy and be a little challenging first few times you do this when you're plugging them all in, but you get used to it. Sorry if I'm moving it out of the camera shot there. Still a little new to doing these videos. Appreciate your patience. Okay, and we got one more to plug in with this parallel charging board. It's not imperative that these are plugged into, it doesn't matter which plugs you plug each of these in. You're essentially making one large lipo with this, but so what I mean is that these XT30 plugs and these balance ports, they don't match up. They're all connected and essentially just make one large lipo. In any case, there we are. they're all connected and all ready to get going. With this particular charger, all we do is let me just move this so you can see. You just hold, sorry, let's zoom in. Okay. I just hold this enter key and it will start charging. Here you can see the individual voltages of the 3 cells. Because even though there's 6 batteries, because we're doing it in parallel, essentially the charger sees one battery pack, one 3-cell battery pack, and what this does is it will balance all 3 of the cells, which is why it's absolutely critical that you only charge parallel charge batteries the same number of cells, so they will balance. And because again, you don't see any differences in this as they balance initially, because like I said, we checked, they were all basically around the same voltage, but that's where they will balance out. In any case, we're gonna leave this to go to charge, and I'll come back. Alright, so that is the end of this charge cycle. So let's quickly look at the numbers. So you can see they've all been balanced at 4.2 volts. And you can see here that through all 6 packs, we put back 2,094 milliamps. Charge time was 23:05. So you can see the benefit of this. I want to emphasize, done properly and done safely, this is a great way to save time when charging your Lipos, because normally to charge 1 pack I'd be looking at about 12 minutes or so, 12 and a half minutes to charge 1 pack. So here I've done 6 packs in 23 minutes. So let me just zoom out here and kind of wrap this up a little bit. So those are the numbers, and that's the end of the charge. The last thing I'll say is that when disconnecting these, again, as a bit of a double redundancy, because they are balanced now, I do remove the balanced cables first, and then I will remove the XT30 connectors, or the main Lipo connectors. Sorry, again, bit of a messy process with these tiny batteries and short cables. Alright, and then now we can remove the mains. Five and 6. There you go. 23 minutes, 6 fully charged Lipos ready to go. Cool. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you liked the video and some of the info there, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.